So, Matty, how have you and Haley been, mate?
Yeah, all good. Busy couple of weeks running around trying to catch up with everyone while we're back. Um, but yeah, we're all good. Nice and happy with where we are and what's going on and everything. So yeah, we're all good.
When I was sending you the questions, like, how's it like to be home? But probably now this ain't your home anymore, mate, is it? I imagine Australia,
Oh,
your class is home, and this is a nice visit.
and I could do, but still, like when we come back, I still like say to everyone, I'm like, oh, I'm going home, or like if I'm even if we're in Hades, I'll say, like, oh, I've got to pop home for the night or whatever. Still say home. Home is Liverpool, but yeah. So we've been in Brisbane a fair while now, so that's not far off being called home.
And it's like you said the other day, we when we caught up, mate, it's you actually didn't play rugby, which we'll talk about later, but you actually didn't play rugby with us for an awful long time, did you? It just seemed to
Nah,
come and go. And
yeah, it seems like it was a lot longer than it actually was. Like when we were chatting the other day, it worked out. It was probably I was only played at the Wids for about 4 or 5 years. I think it was probably close to four and a bit years. But I don't know if it's because I still see all you lads now, or when you come and visit and whatever. But feels like it was a lot longer than it actually was.
so before we get stuck into your rugby story, mate, where was home
Mm.
for a young Smigger and who lived at home with you?
Yeah, so it was not a witness. It was in Liverpool. Yeah, so grew up in Liverpool with my sister, and then Linda and Ian, as you know, my auntie and uncle. Lived with them from the age of two for various reasons. And yeah, it was just the four of us. My sister moved out when she was like 16, then come back to live with us a bit later on and that. Um, but yeah, it was just Liverpool, West Derby. A little bit rough, but wasn't too bad. We knew all the rough people, so kept us out of trouble.
It helps.
It's all right when you know them all, you say hello to them all. They don't go after you. But
So
yeah,
where
no,
does like your competitiveness come from, Matt? If your sister moved out quite early and stuff.
I don't know. Certainly not from Linda and Ian, because they're like Ian played sport all life and I played like football at a good level and stuff and basketball. But he's the least competitive person I know. And Linda, which isn't a sports person at all, and she's not competitive like that. She put everyone else before herself. But yeah, I don't know. Probably just from playing. Like I'm competitive in a game, but the minute it's over, I couldn't care less. Like I really just it doesn't bother me. Like, and I'd say I'm more stubborn than competitive. Um, yeah, like I don't know. I'm not like some people. Um, I just once the game's over, I'm like, oh well, fuck it, let's go. Am I gonna get in trouble if I swear? By the way.
Oh, mate, no,
Okay.
no. So I remember you being mega relaxed as well. Have you been like that all like throughout, mate?
Yeah, I mean, Haley will probably argue with this, but in sport, it doesn't bother me. Like I don't, yeah, I say I don't get competitive. I don't really get too amped up. I'd say I get more bothered. I get more amped up and about things at home. Like not being clean and tidy is probably the biggest one. But sports wise, don't know, just never really been. I think it was because I wasn't pushed into anything by like Linda and Ian in any sport. So I don't know if it was just because they weren't that bothered about it. I was just like, oh, I'll just do it for fun rather than anything else. I was always taught there's no point in doing it if you don't actually enjoy it.
You know, it's not a bad motto, mate. So I don't know a lot about your school life and that, mate. So where
Yeah.
did sport and school come in? Did you play any like Sunday league rugby or football or out like that growing up?
No, but yeah, like a little bit later. So like, we went to St. Eddie's, which a few lads who've been there. And we used to in Runnymede, which was the junior side of it. We used to do it was like a bit of athletics and stuff like that. Not major. I don't actually remember if we played rugby then. I don't think we did. Um, and I never played footy either until later on when we actually went to senior school. I think that's when started playing rugby and footy, because I started playing football because a mate of mine at school's dad asked me to want to go down. So started playing footy outside of school, and then weirdly going to a school in Liverpool, we didn't do football. So it was either play rugby or just didn't do anything. Like didn't do anything until the kind of cricket and athletics kicked in the summer. So that's why I started playing rugby, just because it was just the only thing we could do in school.
Oh,
Yeah.
outside the
So
school, football, in school, rugby, mate. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's how I started playing footy, just because a mate's dad asked my dad didn't want to go down. So did that, and then yeah,
Oh,
we just did rugby from year seven. How old are you? Year seven, 11.
11 or 12, yeah.
So I've been playing rugby from then on in school, from year seven.
So how was
Yeah.
it playing both sports, mate? Did it ever clash?
Uh, no, not no, it didn't, because we used to play rugby was Saturday mornings, which sometimes was a fucking struggle because we'd be having to get up at like 6 o'clock to go out to like Macclesfield and stuff like that for like an 8 a.m. kickoff, which is insane. But yeah, we used to play Saturday mornings at school. And then I'll play footy on a Sunday, like normal Sunday league, Sunday mornings. We played in a few different leagues like Heighton, Belle Vale, just played all about. Changed through the years. So no, never really clashed. I can't even remember when we used to train. I think it was Tuesdays and Thursdays after school for rugby, and I can't remember when we used to train for footy. I think it might have only been like one day a week, something like that. It wasn't anything major.
And did you realise you were quite good at sport, mate? Like, because we've spoke off camera, Lenny, you can play with both feet, you can pass
Yeah.
off both hands,
Or
like
pass off both
you've
hands is a
got
bit of a
footwork.
stretch.
You can pass off both hands, Matt. It
It's
might not
not,
be as good as
there's
it was, but you can pass
like
off both hands.
there's a couple of people who'd argue with that fact. We've been on the end of one of them left-hander passes. Um, but no, I don't know. I don't know if it was because we were just always like outside playing footy in the street and stuff anyway, like just kids just running around. Yeah, sport's always been one of the things actually, yeah, just naturally, luckily, quite quite good at. And then you said about like being able to kick and stuff. Like, I used to go to the park with the old man, and he'd make me like use my left foot and stuff. So then that that helped when it comes to playing footy, and then playing rugby in the end meant that I kick both ways pretty good. Yeah, I don't remember I don't remember like when I was young going, you know, I'm actually not too bad at these things. It's just yeah, I just remember playing, and like people's parents might go, oh, your maths actually not too bad. It's what it is. Just I think I am quite lucky. It came quite naturally, I reckon. Yeah,
So the contact, mate, like it's not something you've ever avoided. From what I remember, plus the positions you play, it's inevitable, isn't it, in the back three? So
yeah.
do you remember your first involvement in contact and how you've ended up playing in the back three?
Not like I don't remember because I think when we played in school, we did tackling from the off. Like it wasn't like doing some people play at like club rugby and they start off doing like tag or something like when they're
Yeah.
really young. I never did that. So when I started, it was just in school, and it was just tackling anyway. Um, my oh, my first memories of contact was we used to play Liverpool College, and they had this lad that used to play in the centres. We used to play like half pitch. We just play like touchline to touchline, and he had this lad, and he was just one of them kids that was bigger than everyone. And my first memories of contact is just him running with the ball and also going, oh, fucking hell. And he just battled through everyone. Next thing, there'd be like five people hanging off him trying to tackle him. That's the only thing I remember just going, oh, no, not this. I think he's one of the main reasons I learned to run away from people as opposed to in, if possible, I run away as opposed to in. But that's the first time I remember just going, oh, I don't know about this.
'Cause- and how was school for you, mate? Was school something you enjoyed, or was it more social?
Um, I'd, I mean, judging by what I do for work now, it's probably more the social side of things. I enjoyed school. I had a laugh. Much of the frustration of the parents, because come parents' evening, I was always told I probably had a bit more potential than I was actually giving out. But I enjoyed school. We had a good group of mates. You obviously know a couple of them anyway. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and doing sport in school was actually just a way of getting off of an afternoon. Like we'd have like some events that'd be like Wednesday afternoons. So it was just a matter of yeah, do this sport, get out of school for an afternoon and stuff like that, or yeah, a little away rugby trips. You might leave a bit early and stuff. So it was a I did enjoy school. I enjoyed it. I say went to a good school for sports and stuff, which yeah was helpful for me.
Suits you, done it, mate. So
Yeah.
when you're playing at school, then, mate, you don't know any difference in standard at this point, really, do you? But how did you find the standard?
Um, yeah, yeah, I've got on to compare it to, but at the time, I remember that it felt good. Like I felt like everyone was decent because the schools that we used to play against were like other, like we were in a private school, but we play against like the private schools and stuff like that.
Grammars and
And we
that,
got you what? Sorry.
the grammar schools and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah,
we'd go and play like we played a couple of like sevens tournaments and things in like some big posh like private schools. I'm trying to think of where they were, but yeah, we'd go and do a couple of those. So I just remember it being pretty good, to be honest. I say there's a few lads from a few different schools that always we play against, and you go, fucking not this guy, like that lad at Liverpool College, and then we used to play against there's a school called Arnold, which was with Josh Beaumont's, Bill Beaumont's son.
yeah,
He played for them, and like there was always a couple of guys, and you were like, oh, not these guys, like you know the kind of fellas that were just always that little bit better than everyone. You go,
yeah.
don't want to come up against those, but I remember it being pretty decent from the get go. And like we had like, we took it quite seriously as a school. Like the teachers are pretty knowledgeable. Obviously, like Gaz Davis and well, we had Mr. Buckton, who was brother of another Buckton that you
Even
know,
Paul one, yeah,
Peter, yeah.
yeah.
So we always had like good rugby teachers, and it was taken pretty seriously. So it was always what I remember, a decent enough standard.
And with you being new to the sport, mate, how did you find 15s to sevens?
Um, it's just I enjoyed like 15s wasn't too bad. I enjoyed sevens because I was a bit small and quick and whatever.
Yeah,
But actually, when we first started, I started off as I played a couple of games at 9 for school. Yeah, got put in at 9. He realised pretty quickly on that wasn't the smartest idea. So I was thrown out the pass, and they just went, nah. Where does he not need to pass? We'll just stick him out there. And then yeah, I started playing from then on. I just remember playing fullback. I think I had a couple of games tried a couple of games at like 10. Um, and then I just found I was playing a fullback most of the time, and yeah, really enjoyed that.
any rep stuff, Matt, through school? Was there any Merseyside or Lancashire or out to do with the footy, mate?
Not through school rugby. I remember. I think I don't know if we went maybe like to us like Merseyside. I don't know if I can't remember if I'm getting mixed up if that was after school or when I was in school. Um, like I had while I was in school and I was still playing footy, I had like trials for Liverpool when I would have been I don't know maybe 13, 14. I kind of age went there for a few weeks, and that didn't exactly go as planned. But I wasn't too bothered. I was like, well, I don't mind. I get to have a bit of fun. It's a bit different, and yeah.
So the thing, obviously, because I know your viewers and listeners, some will know you, some won't. The, the seriousness doesn't ever climb with the standard that you're climbing, if that makes sense. So you're always relaxed in that. So when you
Yeah.
go into like Liverpool trials, mate, what is a young Smigger doing at that? Is he just there for the experience? Do you realise there's levels at that age and things?
Oh, I realised there was a difference. Like, when I went there, I think that was probably the first time I actually ever went. Oh no, like there's these people are actually pretty good because when I went there, especially there was lads they played there for they've been there together since they were kind of like it was like 9, 10. They've been there for a few years. Like all the parents knew each other, all the lads were mates. But yeah, I remember going and we like be doing like certain drills, and I was going. I wasn't bad. I was pretty decent at footy, but I remember just going, oh no, these are actually these know what to do. And like I was winging it. It just so happened I was like quite quick or whatever. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, no, these guys are actually pretty good. Like I know a few of them are like professional footballers now. So that would have been the first time in either sport that I've gone. Actually, yeah, this is a bit different to what I'm used to on a Sunday league pitch in Belle Vale. Yeah.
Because I know, like, we watch it on the telly, mate. You go, "Oh, these shit him." They're not shit, are they? Like when you see it, like when you're at the ground live, you sort of appreciate how a ball's been hit and the touch they
Yeah,
have, and they don't even really look at the ball, and the touch is immaculate in it. It's like the
yeah.
little things, I think.
Like, I remember the first time I realised that rugby is we went to St Helens grounds when they used to do the cross challenge thing, and Sale used to play Saints, and they do like half
Right.
of each. We played in school. We played before the game on the pitch, and that was the first game of rugby I'd ever been to watch. I remember going, this is mad. Like this is like obviously grown men. Obviously, it's completely different. But I remember going, this is not the same. This doesn't look like the same sport that I've been running around the field doing. But obviously, yeah,
Do you
that's
know
it.
when
That's
you're
a big
getting more and more exposure, Matt? Is it something you see yourself doing?
like which footy or rugby or
Like both, mate. But would you have liked to have really gone professional with either
oh,
sport?
I get looking back now. I go, no, I should have. But like I said, it was never a big thing in our house. It was always just parents going, listen, if you enjoy, you enjoy. If you don't, you don't. And that was it. It was never, they weren't pushy at all. It was like, do you want to do it? Yeah, so then you do it. Like when I had the thing at Liverpool, I had a few others, like offer of trials to go to like Everton, United, Tranmere and stuff. But Ian worked away and Linda didn't really like driving long distances. So I never actually went and did them, which well, you look back and you go, oh, probably should have, but at the time it was it was just nah, I enjoy it. I played with my mates. I have a laugh, and like my parents were friends with all the lads' parents that I played with and stuff. And then yeah, school was just I just did it because it was there to do in school, and I just enjoyed running around after a ball more than anything, like a dog, really.
Your tail is always wagging, to be fair. At
Like
least
I
you're
just
an
thought,
happy
yeah.
dog.
Even now, even like, when you say, will you just sit down and stop moving? I'm like, all right, sorry, just running around.
So, what was the ambition leaving school, mate?
Yeah, don't know. It wasn't. I mean, again, probably looking back, I should have had one, but it wasn't really. It was. I when I ended up leaving school, I went to college. Didn't go, I was going to go to uni and then decided against it. I then just started kind of working. Went to college and started working. In the I think for the housing company that Linda was working for at the time. Was like working weekends and stuff there. I don't know. There wasn't
Remember
when I
that?
left school.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like when I left school. I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. Or yeah. I was always like just brought up to go right. Just enjoy. Find something you enjoy. Do what you enjoy. If you don't like it, don't do it. Kind of thing. It was never pressure for me to go and like go to uni or do this. It was just whatever I wanted to do. Really.
What I loved about you, that mate, not so much winging it, but you were just a free spirit, and whatever come up, you'd have a
Definitely,
go at.
definitely winging it.
Yeah,
Still am.
no, but
Still am,
you'd
mate.
have a go at it, and then if it worked, it worked. If it didn't,
Yeah,
move on in it. quite like that about you when like I first come across you, mate. So had you
Yeah,
played any club rugby before you come to us?
nah, nah. So
No.
we just played it here. Oh, I might have played a game or two out at I think I played a game or two out at Sefton,
Right.
um, from lads I knew playing at school. But that was just like, yeah, just, I mean, oh, my cousin actually played at Sefton. I think that's why I went down. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, one of my cousins played there, so I went down. I had a game or two in there with them. I think I played maybe a game or two out at Liverpool Collegiate. I was in Eggborough there, um, but not actually played for anyone properly. No, it's just after we just played, yeah, all through school, and then we when I left in year 10, would it have been year 10 or 11, no, year 11,
Yeah.
whatever, whichever one it was, I can't remember. Yeah, now after that, I think I didn't play for no, I didn't play for anyone until I came off the bids. No, not really.
And what about football, mate? How had your football gone up until this point?
Yeah, no, we played. I played, yeah, football for years while I was in school. I played the team I played for, West Derby. We were pretty good. We used to, if not win, I don't think we ever won a league, but we'd certainly either be in a cup final or win a cup every year. And again, it was just a good group of lads. We were all mates. All my family were like mates with all the families, the parents, the lads I used to play with. So it was good. Like we got to play tournaments like through the summer, and we got like Butlins and have like weekends and play weekend tournaments and stuff. And that was it was good because yeah, I was mates with everyone, and it was just basically a little holiday with your mates, and we all enjoyed playing footy. So we all had a ball and we got away. We only played a few tournaments in like Holland as well. I only played one in Holland and one in Belgium, which was that was good. That was another time I realised we played Ajax's like under 10s or 11s or something, and got our arses handed to us. And I was like, we weren't bad. I remember saying thing. I was like, we're actually we're not that good. Like these kids know what's going on here.
So
But
logistically, how would them tournaments work, Matt? Would you have dropped? Would it been a court trip? Would you have flew? Would you just
we like the guy that was the manager, Kenny, like for like him used to like organise everything. And we do a lot of fundraising things off the year, but yeah, it was a coach trip. So it was best part of 24 hours on a coach with would be at the time would have been about 15, 16 kids and all the parents just on all on one coach. Do it all in if I remember rightly, it was like a day. Like, we get down there like kind of in a day, maybe a little stop overnight. I can't remember. But then we'd go down there we'd be there for 3 or 4 days. Play it. One year we played a tournament, and one year we just played like three different like kind of friendly games over a few days. Yeah, they were like really enjoyed them as a kid. It was just yeah, good little holidays.
any rep stuff with the football, mate?
Uh, nah, no, not really. I don't think, from what I remember, there wasn't really anything apart from like maybe like a counties kind of thing. But no, it was mainly just lads getting picked up from teams and stuff as you go along. But nah, nothing that springs to mind for me, other I can remember. Um, nah, the only thing like was when we got to about it was the age of like 14 to kind of 16-ish. They changed our team name and we went to play under like Prescott Cables, um, whose men's team. I think they were like a little kind of semi-pro outfit. They were in like one of the non-league teams. We used to get, I think that them fellas used to get a little bit of money and whatever. So we played like as their kind of juniors for a bit from what I remember. And then yeah, that was up until about 15, 16. Um, yeah, that's all that springs to mind.
Right. So how did you know about the Wids? How did the Wids come about it? And how did you find it when you first come?
Yeah, so obviously, George, Adam on here. I went to school with him, played rugby all through school with George, and then yeah, just it was. I think when we left school, when I was like 16, it was over that summer. And he just said, "You know, do you want to come? We got pre-season training if you want to come down." I'm trying to think, was it then or was it a year later? No, I think it was. It was. I think it might have been like a year later.
So you'd have been 17, 18.
It was when I
Yeah,
turned 17 because yeah, because I could drive. That's the only reason I went down.
right.
We left school. We went to Leeds Festival in the summer. It would have been the following year, yeah. Because I could. That was the only reason I went down because I could drive. I could get myself down there. He was like, "Do you want to come down?" So come down one Friday. I think one of the other lads from school, Matty Gornall, came down with us. I think he only came maybe once. Um, yeah, so it was George got me down. I remember going down and us playing like to pass on like the well backfield, but behind the pitch kind of thing. Um, yeah, I remember getting down. My only real memory of that is Juzzy and me thinking this fella's a pain in the ass. Just wouldn't shut up. And I was like, I remember going, "Who's this? Who's this?" And he kept giving me a load of grief. Even though I turned up about 20 minutes ago, he gave me a load of grief, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know about this. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to stick this out." But yeah, it
Four
was
and a half, yeah.
you are.
4.5 years, you'd have to put up with that shit.
Oh, mate, I know. Luckily, I'd say he calmed down, but he just stopped. He stopped for a bit anyway. He stopped giving me as much. At least he got to know me, and then he understood the shit he used to give me was warranted. But at the time, I was like, oh, mate, it's like, I don't know this guy.
So how did you find Colts, mate? Because that's what you initially come and played, wasn't it?
Mm,
First off,
yeah,
you were playing Colts stuff. So for viewers and listeners, Colts is like under 19s, isn't it, mate? And
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like after pre-season that, and like getting to know a few of the lads a little bit better. I really enjoyed it. At the start, but all the way through. Um, yeah, like I say, it was my first kind of venture outside of school rugby, really. But it just so happened that when I come down, I think you lads had won the Lancashire Cup the year before. Um, and then like obviously you and a few of the other lads had moved on, but a fair few were still playing. No, I've really enjoyed it. And the standard, like I had nothing to compare it to, but the standard was pretty good. It was tough. It felt it felt tough. It felt quite quick, and it was I really enjoyed it when we got into it.
do you think Newey give you freedom, Matt? Was you allowed to go and play what you're seeing? Or were you
Any
tied into a structure?
is anyone allowed freedom with Newell? Um, no, I think for the most part, yeah. I, that's he obviously liked to try and like play it a certain way, and if moves didn't necessarily come off, even if we scored, obviously like there'd be times he wasn't overly happy because it broken down, and he's pretty intense man, but he'd want to know why it broken down and be like, no, we need to make this work. But it's like I don't know, I'd say we were a pretty like good structured team anyway, so it didn't matter. It didn't feel like it was forced, and we had like good players who knew what they were doing. So even if it was like, oh no, we're gonna play this way, you go, well, it's okay because we'll make it work.
Yeah. And
Um,
when it comes to goal kicking, mate, is that something you've always enjoyed? And is that like one of the few like singular battles that you got to have on a rugby field? So like it was
yeah,
just you. So
I,
the bet just some people don't like it, mate, did he? Just to put
yeah,
it plain and simple, it's a bit of
yeah,
an added pressure people can't cope with.
mm, I I've never minded it. Um, it, obviously the only time it really bothers you is when it matters, like when you miss on it, it matters, and you go, because it's not even like if I miss something, I'd be like, well, I know I should be doing, I'm better than that, I know I can get that, but it's more like you go, let the lads down kind of thing. I feel more for everyone else, and because I'll finish up and something happens, and I go, fuck. And then once the whistle's gone, it doesn't bother me. I just go, well, it is what it is. It's going to happen. But I feel bad for the lads and like other people as opposed to myself. But I've always enjoyed it. I would kicked in school it would have been between me and George. Always kind of kicked in school.
Didn't have much competition there then, did you?
Fucking hell. No. Thankfully, he didn't carry on too long. But nah, I've always enjoyed doing it, to be honest. Even like there's probably been about a year or so where I've played a couple of years where I haven't been like a kicker, and that doesn't bother me either. I'm actually like, you can have a little bit of pressure.
Yeah. Because you kicked in some big games at the Colts, mate, and you're in games that it relied on. So you've brushed over it really, but you've won the league, you won a League Cup, you won a Lancashire
Yeah,
Cup, and you won Cock and a North, didn't you? Which basically makes you the best team in the North at that
yeah,
time.
yeah, like that. Like that's it. Like, oh, don't get me wrong. Some of them games, mate, we should have had someone else kicking. That that Lancashire Cup game when we played. I can't remember who we played, but we played at Rochdale. Oh, no, I'm gone. No, that was a good game. Was it the Cock of the North one that was
Is it
shocking?
Middlesbrough, was it? You miss a few.
Yeah. Oh, I missed a good few of those. We should have won that game comfortably. I think if that ended
Yeah,
like 15-10, and it should have been a bit more. It definitely
right.
should have been a bit more. But yeah, I think it was the week before we played in the Lancashire Cup final at Rochdale, and that was one of them games. And when you know you're going well, and you're like, well, I'll kick whatever goes on today. Um, yeah, that Cock of the North game, that was. I still get a bit of grief off Wildy for that every now and again.
At least it's a winning grief, though, isn't it, mate?
Yeah. Luckily, thanks to who was it? Tom Raymond got over in the corner.
What a guy. What a
How,
guy.
how
You've met some
that
characters.
how that happened, I'll never know. Jesus.
So was this plan always to come and play open age rugby with us, mate? Because I know I was asked a few times whether you were available from both courts, and I know
Mm.
Witness were really keen a couple of times, but it's never really, when I spoke to you, ever interested you that, did it?
Nah, because like when I come, I didn't really think about it. It was just like George said, "Do you want to come play Colts?" I said, "Yeah." Turned up, and it just so happened that we were going pretty well. We had a good group of lads. We were playing well. We were winning, so it was enjoyable and that. And then I remember getting asked by, I can't remember if it was Tank or Paul, to did I want to play like the open age? Did I want to play, like, would I be able to play first? And I was only I was only 17 still, and I'm not the biggest of people anyway. Like even then, like, I was pretty small, pretty skinny. And I was just thinking, I don't know about this. I was like, I don't, I didn't think I was ready to do it. Which is what I said. I was like, I'm not ready to do this. I was like, I'll also play a couple of games in like the thirds or the seconds or something like that. And then he went, yeah, it was like, no, fair enough. Yeah, it was quite reasonable. He went, yeah, let's do that, see how you go. And then I played one game in the seconds away at Didsbury. Played one game, and then next week I was playing first. And I was like, I still don't know about this, mate. I was like, this shouldn't be happening. And then yeah, just kind of like went on from there. Just carried on with it. And I reckon I'd still like a few more games in the seconds, just to get myself
Yeah.
used to it.
Well, we were only on about it, weren't we? Like, literally, you had one
Yeah,
game, and I
yeah,
don't think you left the first team unless you were injured or on holiday.
yeah. I played that Didsbury game. I scored a couple. And then yeah, next week I think we went away to my first game was away at I'm going to say Hoyle. I think it was Hoyle. I got sin binned, and I was like, I remember getting really upset. And like I said, it doesn't use sport, doesn't usually bother me, but I remember just being like feeling embarrassed because I remember getting tackled, putting the ball back, and one of their players kicked it out my hands, and I got done for a knock on. And I went to the ref, and went, you fucking kidding me? And he went, off you go. And he bit me. And I was like, oh no. I remember sitting behind the stick, I was getting pretty upset. And I think Andy Mack was injured at the time, and he was stood next to me. He was like, don't worry about it. He's like, just
Yeah.
don't worry about it. But I felt like an idiot. I felt ridiculous. I was like, oh no.
It's not easy place either because it's like fenced in, innit? There's like no
I mean,
hiding place there really.
he had, he had, they had a number 8, if I remember rightly. It was a big lad, big bald fella, and he came blind. I'd say 9 times out of 10 off the back of a scrum, he picked blind and ran over me, and I was just going, "This isn't for me." I was like, "I'll go back and play Sunday morning Colts." Oh yeah, it was a rough first. It was a rough first game. But I remember after that, I remember just thinking, "Oh, that's all right." I was like, "I won't play again. At least not for a long time." But then carried on. Thankfully, carried on getting picked somehow.
Wing or fullback, Matt? Which did you always prefer playing?
I prefer fullback. Yeah, always have preferred fullback. Although I didn't mind playing on the wing because we had Andy Riley, so you're never gonna pick anyone other than him there. And the way we played, we got a lot of ball. Like it wasn't like some teams and the wingers never see the ball. Like we got a lot of ball. Me and Kev for most part, or whoever was there. Like, we went wide a lot. We had a lot of wide moves. We had moves that got the wingers involved. So it never actually used to bother me. To be honest, playing on the wing,
Yeah.
but
So that
definitely prefer
first year,
fullback.
just a bit of a blur, mate, because it sort of come at you real fast.
Yeah, there's not. From what I remember, like, there's not apart from that first game. Oh, really? Like, there's no other like kind of games that maybe that stick out or anything like that. I remember like the teams we used to go and play and it being good games. Or there's no other like particular games, anything that stick out. I do just remember like yeah, it all just went by pretty quick. And I can't remember if that was. I don't know if that was the. Did we get promoted? I don't know if we got promoted that year. Or was it a year later? I can't. I can't remember. Nah, just seemed to go by pretty quickly. Being honest, but obviously, like I remember the games with the Colts and stuff, like because we obviously done pretty well. Won fucking everything there. So I remember that more than like playing firsts.
Right. So when did you get introduced to rugby league then, mate? And how was you introduced to rugby league?
That was um that would have been probably I don't know my second or third year, maybe my second odd year at the Wids, and I can't remember who it was who was going, but a few of the lads were going to play down at Farmworth in the summer. I knew what rugby league was. I'd watched it and stuff, but I'd never actually played it. And I remember, during the off season, a couple of lads saying, "Oh, we're gonna go down and play." I think it was actually might have been you. I think it was you that said we're gonna go down because that year when it was like me, you, I think Jersey and Tom Mack all went down. And that was it. I think I'm fairly saying it was you. You said we're going to go down and play. Do you want to come down? So yeah, that was it. Going and playing with those lads up there.
How did you find the transition, mate? Because for viewers and listeners, we'd have just finished winter rugby straight into summer rugby,
Yeah.
and then, to be honest, we went straight back to winter, didn't we? We didn't really have a rest.
No,
But how did you find the
literally.
little intricacies?
Um, I don't like it. It was. I actually preferred it. Weirdly, because I played Union since I was I don't know maybe 9, 10, 11, whatever it was. I played that for the last 7, 8 years, and then after a couple of games of league, I was like, I actually think I prefer this because it was like you were kind of being in the back three and that you were always involved. Like there are, even though at the Wids we had a good team and we throw the ball wide, you'd be involved most of the time. It was like you were always involved because there was always like there was going to be a kick, so you're always going to be like returning a ball, or you're going to be like maybe like the next pick if like the fullback stuck it in, the winger will come in. So I was actually really enjoyed. Like you're always going to be involved. No, I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I prefer, like I say,
Yeah.
I actually grew to prefer it.
Yeah, I remember like lads that I grew up playing with were saying like, "Who's this lad here?" I was like, "Oh, he's like obviously saying who you are and that." They're like,
Yeah,
"How long's he been?" Like you were just not like to witness, mate. No one really knew you other than us, did we? And
nah,
I know like you started getting a bit picked out for like third, fourth, and fifth man treatment in games and in
yeah,
Witness Cup games and that, didn't you? And you were like a target man. So that's when I was approached by someone from Witness asking if you were keen, and you just weren't. So
nah.
what what about rugby league? Did you really? Yeah, you probably didn't realise, but you excelled at it, mate, didn't you?
It was, I don't know. I was
And you were
just,
at a piss most of the time as well.
oh, mate. Don't talk about these games. Jesus,
Like
I
that
was
one
talking to
after club dinner that time.
yeah, I was talking to someone about I can't remember. It was a game in St Helens and scoring, and then throwing up and taking myself off the pitch.
That was
I think that
Warrington. That was Latchford.
was it. Oh,
Yeah,
mate, that was yeah. I mean, there's not a chance in hell I could do that now. Like that would kill me if I tried to do something like that now. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't like. It was never like I didn't think I was any better or worse than anyone. I was like, I found it a bit easier because it was
yeah,
like you didn't have to like worry about like generally speaking, you have to worry about like your positioning and stuff like that because it's pretty structured. You're gonna generally speaking, they're only gonna kick fourth or fifth. So I think I just found it I did find it a bit easier. But then saying that taking a ball in like especially playing the kind of amateur rugby league, lads are out to belt you sometimes, not tackle you. They want to absolutely bash you. So there was that you'd take a ball in, and just be three or four big fucking fellas in front of me, and I'm going, oh, no, not this again. And then you get walloped, and you go, all right, well, I'll wait six more tackles and have another go.
yeah,
Yeah, just I don't know. Yeah, I think I did just find it a little bit easier coming from playing union. It was like there's less rules and stuff. There's less to I found there's less to worry about. Um, yeah, I just actually enjoyed it. Like once again, it was just going out. All the lads that we met there were pretty sound. Like I don't obviously I knew you lot, so it
yeah.
was just more of an enjoyment thing than anything else.
So did you miss a little bit of the ball carrying physicality when you used to go back to uni and then, mate?
Not really, not really. No,
No,
I actually
because you'd enjoyed it or like you didn't want to not
I
put your
don't
hand up.
mind. I actually don't mind. Just like I say, I know I'm only little, but I don't mind just going. I'll have a run here. Like everyone's got to get in and do the bit. But then I
Yeah,
going back to union. It was nice because you go, oh, I've got some space actually. I don't need to just steam it, like try and fucking like win a little bit of a collision or something, or like to put a kick in, and then you had I don't know two chases, and if you can get around one of them, you've got a good few meters before you meet the next people, and um, it was nice going back and going, oh, there's more space. Um, but then again, like then we went back and played again, and I enjoyed both. I enjoyed both of them. I enjoyed the like getting knocked around, but then I enjoyed like when there's a bit of space and you actually have to get knocked around.
yeah. And then with promotion, mate, come the bigger and better games for the Wids, wasn't it? And but again, it's probably a pointless question to you, Matt. But the promotion really matter to you, really.
Well, it did because like I really enjoyed playing at the club, so it was good for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's always good to go. Oh, what are these teams going to be like? Because I don't know if that was the first or second year I was there. So we played. I think it might have been the second year. So we played the same kind of teams for a year or two, and then when we went off, it was new set of teams, like new new grounds, and players are a little bit better. So like yeah, I remember that year we did go up. I actually really enjoyed that because we did well that first. I think we finished like third in that league, and no one was expecting it. I don't think we were, but we finished like third. And yeah, I enjoyed that. Enjoyed that. Yeah. Um, yeah. There's only the only team I remember playing out of that actual league is Burnage, I think it was. They were the only ones I actually, for some reason,
Really stand out.
remember playing. I can't remember who else was in there, but I enjoyed it because we were playing well. So like you play well, you win games. Everyone enjoys it, don't they?
Yeah, no, it was a good time to be around the team then, mate, wasn't it? It's like
Mm.
we never really went away with like a scratch team ever. Everyone stayed relatively fit and
Yeah.
like suspension free. It was a good time to be in that team. So personal
Yeah.
honours come along, mate, and what do them mean to you? Again, are you asked about the player of the years and player of the years and that?
Eh, no, it's always that's stuff like that's nice. Like I got the young player of the year at the Wids. I don't know. Again, I think I was 17, 18, whatever it was. That's nice when you. It's nice to get it, but not really. I did, not really. I wasn't bothered about it. If it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. To be honest, like the good thing about our team was there's all the awards. There was probably another 4 or 5 people who you'd just be able to go, yeah, oh, but just give it to them or give it to them. Like it was a good team to play with. Yeah, so it's nice to get. Obviously, no one's ever going to say no, but not something that's ever bothered me really.
You
Um,
think you went out and seeked, is it, mate? It just come if it
no,
come.
no.
Yeah.
Like I say, we had enough good players. No one expected anything. You generally either probably gone, oh, I'll go to someone else, or they go to this place. Like I say, there'd be a list for each whatever award is on the table. So yeah, no, it was nice to get, but not didn't really bother me. Yeah.
So when did the travelling become a big part of what you were about, mate? When did you start taking a keen interest in that?
Well, that was when I first. What was I? I was 22 when I first. Like apart from like little holidays in there, holidays with the lads and family and that, was when I left and went to there was summer camp in America. Um, and that was because my cousin had done it a couple of times, and he went. He was like, "I'd go and do it." He was like, "It's a really good time. Do a little bit of like traveling afterwards and stuff." So that was it. He told me to go and do it. I applied and got given a position in the middle of nowhere, in Minnesota, and then was just like, well, we'll just go and give it a go. Like, if it doesn't work out, doesn't work. If I don't like it, I don't like it. Come back. That was more like Linda had always said to me. She always said, "Go and she's like, you might as well go and try and see someone else or live somewhere else, right? Because if it doesn't work out, you can just come back."
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, oh yeah, sounds. So I just went in and give it a go, and that was 5 or 6 months all up, working there and doing like a year and a half traveling around afterwards.
So what does summer camp involve, mate? You're running like activities and workshops and stuff.
I I was the I don't know how I got this job, but I was the waterfront director. There was me and another lad, and we basically dossed around for 4 months. We did nothing. Because each activity on the lake had its own instructor, and we just basically had to make sure they didn't do anything stupid. So like they'd go out do an activity, there'd be a couple of like an instructor, a couple of counsellors. We got paid to sit on this dock by a lake and tan for a few months basically. We had no response. Well, we have responsibilities, but like in the evenings we got like the most time off and stuff like that. We didn't have to actually look after any kids in the evenings, whereas everyone else did. Um, so yeah, it was. It will and it will always be the cruisiest job I think I'll ever have. But it was brilliant. I had a great time actually.
And then where did you go after that then, mate? You said you'd done a bit of travelling after it. Where did you head to?
We just had like a month, like a little over a month, I think it was, of just jumping around, mainly on the East Coast. Like we were in Minnesota, we went and stayed with some people that we'd met at the camp and whatnot. And then we went across, to the East Coast and just through just the usual spots, Washington, New York, that kind of stuff. All on a very tight budget. So it was overnight buses, it was hostels and all that kind of stuff. The overnight buses weren't that much cheaper. We should have just had flights, but at the time we were like, "No, we need every penny we've got here." So yeah, we did that for all up in about, I think it was about a month all up. Went to like Pennsylvania to see some friends, Philadelphia. We were there, and then I think I'll come back to England in the September time. I think it would have been. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a rugby, mate, or what was the crack when you come off?
Yeah, come back and went back to playing. Then I think I only played about whatever, maybe 3 or 4 months, like up until like what would have been the Christmas break. As far as I remember, I think I'd come back was playing, just played first again. And then after that I took off again in, would have been the middle of January. I applied for a visa for New Zealand and was like, got granted that. It was like a 2-year one. I was like, actually, I'll just go, because when I come back, I'd gone after America, gone, listen, I want to move away. I was like, I want to go somewhere else. So like they say you get a travel bug or whatever. It's absolutely true. So I had kind of got a little taste for it and was like, well, where can I go? Where can I go next? So what I did.
So you went to New Zealand, mate, yeah?
Yeah, because I met a lad at the summer camp who I'm now still really good mates with, who came across for our wedding the other month, and still see him a lot. But said to him, I was like, listen, I'm gonna come around. My plan was to do a little bit of traveling, and then was to actually stick around there. Because I had a 2-year visa, so I was like, I'll do a little bit of traveling, and then look at getting some work after a couple of months. Which, as you know, never actually happened. I only ended up staying there for 2 months. We kind of wasted that a little bit.
Oh, you experienced it, mate. Nothing's a waste.
Yeah. No, it was. I mean, like, it was good because, like, after that, it was like, obviously Haley, the wife now, which is weird to say. We split up for a little bit when I went to America, and she moved. She got a job in Abu Dhabi, and then we got talking again. And then I was like, oh, listen, I'll come up and see you for a couple of weeks in Abu Dhabi. And we're like, I had return flights booked to New Zealand, and never went back. And we got back together, stayed in Abu Dhabi for the next, 14, 15 months after that.
Right. So speak to me about that, mate. How was it? How different was it to what you'd ever experienced before? And talk about how you and Haley made up and playing rugby there and the job you had and stuff.
That was like I got there and we just kind of went back to the way things were, just like rekindled. And then she was actually, I don't even, when did I get there? I got there and the rugby season had actually finished, and Haley was, I think she was coming back to England in the summer, I think it was. And I had a little look online to see what to go with, like rugby and things was. And then I found just a page for something, and it was like Abu Dhabi Harlequins Rugby League. So I ended up, I like messaged the page or whatever it was on Facebook and got a reply. So I went down to training, and actually ended up playing a few games of rugby league initially there, which I didn't know. I didn't know they played union, let alone league. I played that, like, I think this is one of the first years they tried to do it in what was the off season, because obviously it's stupid to try and play through the summer out there. But we did, like, and then ended up playing playing. I think we played about 4 games because there was only like one little kind of 4 or 5 team league for playing league at that point. And that was hot. It was hot. I remember playing a game. It was 7 o'clock at night, and it was still like late 30 degrees. And we played a team called Alain, which is in the middle of nowhere, and it was all just Fijians, like all Fijian lads, which I did not expect in the middle of the desert. And that's still to this day probably one of the hardest games I've played. Finished 40 points to 42. It was ruthless. But good fun, like really good fun. So yeah, we did that, and then that same team played Union in the well, what would be winter. So just stayed with that same team and played the next year out there.
Yeah, because there was a few British lads in your team, weren't there, mate?
There was quite a few, which like I was very, very surprised at the standard of rugby that was out there. It turned out that like a lot of the lads that, say for instance, in our team, with the exception of me and maybe a couple of other lads, they'd all played championship, like National 1, National 2 at least. Like I say, with the exception of a few of us. There's a few lads now without like who play in the championship after they played like a year or two out there and they gone back. So the standard was very good, surprisingly. And it'd be like lads if they knew players, they'd be like, "Oh, listen, we're after I don't know this like a prop or second row or whatever," and then they'd help them get work and stuff like that. So very good at like caliber of player. Like we had a fella in the second row who had like South Africa caps. We had lads who played like ITM Cup in New Zealand and stuff like that. Yeah, it was really good, but it was a complete mix of people. So we had lads from Argentina, we had lads from South Africa, New Zealand, England, everywhere. Like lads from everywhere, pretty much. And then we had like local lads who were like Emiratis who played and stuff as well. Like I was very, very surprised about the standard of player out there, especially in the other. I didn't know if that was just going to be us, but then as the games went on, I was like, no, it was actually all of the teams around there were like very similar. It's a huge expat community, obviously. Some very good players out there, which was, like I say, surprising, but it was good. It was really good. I played some good games.
And on some good tours and had some good socials as well, mate, didn't you?
Oh yeah, we went on a pre-season tour to Sri Lanka, which I remember at the time thinking this is mad because our pre-season or end of season tours would have been to fucking Blackpool up until this point. Every year, where are we going? Oh, we're going to Spikes. Yeah, it's still great. Some of the best weekends I've had. But like we went and did like a pre-season tour to Sri Lanka and we played. They were the national champions over there, Candy. And like we won that. We were in there for like 3 days. We only played like the one game. But yeah, that was something that was just very different. And like that was the good thing about playing out there is we go and play. We went and played in like Oman, in Qatar and Doha. When I played in Dubai. That was really good. Like being able to go and do stuff like that, which obviously you never think. You never think I'm going to go. I'll be playing rugby in Dubai. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
But
What was your job, mate?
So first off, when I first got there, a friend of Haley's got me a job at the Sports Council. So I was actually teaching football. I was weirdly, I went and had a chat with someone, and I was coaching football for a little bit. I was only doing it like two or three nights a week initially, because it can be quite hard to just find work when you're out there. Like if you're not really like an office based person or a teacher or something like that, it can be quite hard to just find work. But then after that, the same, like the sports council were then running, trying to run this like these fitness classes in the like local parks on the beach. So it was me and another guy, and we did that. So same thing. We used to do it a few nights a week when it got a bit like cooler. And we'd go down and we'd set up like a session, like a fitness session, just like a variety of things, all pretty easy stuff. And then we'd hang around for a couple, and we'd do it for like 40 minutes time, have a little break, set up another one. And it was basically just people coming and going. If they wanted to join in, they join in. If not, then same. Seems to be a theme here, but same as working at the camp. If not, just sit there for a bit, and get paid to sit there. So yeah, did that for. We did that for. I was doing that for a good few months. And then when that, it got to a point. He said it was getting too hot. I think it was. No, I can't remember if it was the weather. They stopped doing it in the end. And then I ended up managing a restaurant cafe out there. For that would have only been about 6 or 7 months maybe before we actually took the decision to move on. Yeah, but rugby and that, playing rugby out there was really fun. And we got to play at the Dubai Sevens and stuff.
It's cool, that, isn't it?
That's a real experience. Yeah, really. And we got like passes for the weekends, so when we'd finish playing, we got watching. That was really cool, being able to do something like that, because it's just not something you don't think you're going to be able to. You don't expect it for
It's not
sure.
an everyday thing, that, Matt, is it?
Nah, not at all. So I'm quite lucky in that respect that we got to do that and got to go to the places we got to go to pretty much free of charge as well, which was nice. Yeah.
Mate,
So
you touched on that decision to move, mate. So what was behind that, and where was next?
don't know why initially we decided to then take off from there. I just think we both had a really good time. We really enjoyed it, but and we both just went, oh, let's go and give somewhere else a try. And then it just so happened that Hayley got offered a pretty good job at a big school, big international school in Thailand, which she got sent to Canada to train for. And then that was it. Yeah, it was just like, right, well, that's next. And then we had a summer in between. We went over to America, Canada, come home, and then went out to Thailand, and we thought we'd just give that a go.
Did you find it, mate? And was there any rugby out there?
Yeah, the whole time we were there, we did enjoy it, but it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't what we thought it was going to be. We thought it'd be quite similar to what we'd done in Abu Dhabi, but it was a bit old. Like our friends were a little bit older, our families, and it was like we weren't kind of wanting to do the same things in the end. But they're all lovely people that we still keep in touch with, a lot of them. But yeah, there was rugby out there. So there was a team and we were living in Phuket, Vagabonds, and they used to train pretty much every week. More as a social kind of thing. So I used to get together and we'd have a little training session, nothing major, more touch than anything else. And then it'd be right, we're going to have a few beers afterwards. And then they used to just play in the tournaments. So like they had a 10s tournament to 10s or 11s. I think it was 10s tournament in Phuket. they used to run every year, and then there's the Bangkok Tens as well, which is a really big tournament. Which I was lucky enough we went up and played in that. That was a really good, good, well run weekend. Which I got injured 5 minutes into the first game and didn't play again. So I had a,
Yeah.
I
What happened?
had a pulled me calf, completely went. I've never done it before, never done it since, but it just completely went. So I literally limped around for the rest of the game, and then just I'd say ran water, held water, and drank beers. Actually, that's what I did for the rest of that day. But
Because you've
that was
been quite good
that
with
was
injuries, Matt, haven't you?
I've been quite lucky. Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
touch wood had anything too crazy. I've had I think the worst one I had was I hurt my shoulder when when that game when I knocked myself out against LSH at home.
Yeah, just before you were due to go away
Um,
with the lads.
meant to be on, I was going to Poland that night, and I ended up in hospital instead. That was when I made a tackle in the corner. That was I did something to my shoulder. That's the only thing I've ever done. I've never broken anything. Had surgery, luckily.
Tackle that, though. It
Right.
was a good tackle, joking
Don't know.
aside. I know you hurt yourself,
Don't
but
know. Don't know how I got there. He must have been slow. That is. I mean, it wasn't that fun for like Haley and Haley. Mum, like, oh, it'd be all right. And I was knocked out on the floor for about a minute and a half, just face down in the grass. But yeah, made the tackle. That's all that matters, isn't
that's it, right, yeah, that's it.
it?
So, yeah, so Thailand, not quite what you expected. People at different stages of life to use, maybe,
Yeah.
than what you thought they were going to be and things.
Yeah, and then same thing is like because I haven't got I'm not a career base. I've never worked at like one place particularly. It was hard for me to work and stuff there. So I was having to go to when we landed, you get like a visa for 30 days. I'd go to immigration, they'd extend it for 30, and then I'd leave. And I had to I was flying to like Kuala Lumpur and back like overnight. Or I think I went to Singapore once. But yeah, went to Kuala Lumpur once or twice. So I ended up doing that for it was about 6 months nearly. Yeah, and
There's some
I wasn't
commitment,
very.
Matt, in it.
Yeah, it was, but
Yeah,
there was no other way around. That's what we had to do really was for me to be
right.
able to stay there.
Yeah,
But that's when it was after about 6 months, and it was getting to a point where I was like, I don't think I can keep doing this. And then I just fell into the thing of playing in America. I was a guy I'd met playing in Abu Dhabi had shared something on Facebook, and I was reading about it. Um, and Haley was like, why don't you apply and go and do it?" And I applied and ended up playing league in America for
yeah.
a season over there.
How was that, mate? Remember
Yeah,
you saying there was a lot of travelling, wasn't there?
yeah, like that
Yeah,
was really good. Like we were based in Virginia, which we were about an hour and a bit outside of Washington DC. So it was not rural, but it was out the way enough. It was only a
yeah,
small little town that we were living in, Manassas. It was called. So I didn't know what to expect. I actually sent an application, and it went to the USA Rugby League, and then they sent it off to a few different teams, and I was speaking to a few of them, and then it was just the first one. The the Eagles just were like, yeah, we'd like you to come to us, come play with us. And I went, yep, sound. Didn't know anything about them or whatever. They were like, yeah, come to us. We can sort out X, Y, Z. And we're like, yeah, sound. And every team could have three, what they call it, imports, so three foreigners play. So there was me, and it turned out that I then lived with two Australian lads who were obviously living out there. See them both. So I'm really good friends with both of them. But yeah, I didn't know what to expect because I was like, is it going to be any good? Is it going to be? Because I knew they played Union, but I didn't know anything about them playing league. So took it quite serious, like training and that at the start. And like I was trying to stay off the beers and things, and I was living with one of the guys at this point, and we were both going to the gym and stuff. And we played the first game and we won 96-10 or something, and we both went, "This is gonna be a piece of piss." This. And then it turned out that actually they were just the worst team, and the rest of the teams were actually pretty good. Yeah, so when we went up and played, we used to go up and play like in New York and Brooklyn, up that way. We'd that would be like you'd leave at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, get on a little mini bus, 4 o'clock in the morning, all the way up there for you get there at house like 1:30, warm up. So I don't play at 3, for example, play the game, go back for beers and like the after match stuff, and then back home, like get on the bus back home, and you get back like 1-2 a.m. So it was like
Long day,
it's
that,
good because you're with a group of lads, like everyone, you've all played, and that you have bus trips are bus trips, they're always going to be fun.
yeah.
But yeah, by the time you actually got home, we were all like, Jesus, it's been a long day of just sitting down on a bus.
Yeah.
But now it was good. Like the teams we played in like New York, because of like obviously the size of New York and that there are a lot more lads who were like Australians who'd lived there for years and stuff. So that was a much better standard. Like they actually had good players, which so did we. But it was lads who played Union who were just playing league as well. I had some good like athlete kind of lads. But then we had some lads who, to be honest, you'd pick them to come and play rounds like round with us and stuff, like good, just solid guys who actually were quite switched on and could play. So yeah, no, that was really good experience. Yeah, that was really good. I was going to go back and do it again, but decided against it. I was like, nah, I probably shouldn't. Just give it a miss.
Yeah. So then what happened? Do you go back to Thailand, mate, before you go to Australia then?
Yeah, so we went to I went back to Thailand, and that was when we come on the holiday with you, had that little holiday in Bali and whatnot. And then I went back to Thailand, and I actually went to like extend my visa, and the woman in the office was like, "Why have you got so many entry and exit stamps?" And I said to Haley, "I'm probably going to get in trouble if I carry on trying to do this."
Yeah.
So see me on the next episode, like banged up abroad, something like that. So we made a pretty quick decision that we'd move on, and we were just like, well, where? And we just had a little chat about Australia, and the program that Haley was running at the time was run in a number of places. So she was like, well, I'll see if I can get like a kind of transfer thing or a job doing the same thing. So I moved over before her, just on a like working holiday visa, like 6 months before her. Went to Melbourne. I was in Melbourne for a few months, and then a mate, someone that we knew from Thailand, was like, "Oh, do you want to come up and play rugby up in like Noosa?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, sound. Why not?" Like I wasn't doing anything really. I was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll give it a go." So I moved up there, and then it just so happened that Haley then got a job based around Brisbane, and then they were willing to like sponsor her and me to be able to stay, which was a big relief. Made life a hell of a lot easier. Yeah, and that's how we ended up. That's how we ended up in Brisbane.
Because it must have been a bit of peace of mind for you, not going too much into it, but You touched a bit on like Thailand, so if you've had to cut a few corners a couple of times to make sure you can stay together and that, aren't you? So this time
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
just able to settle and stuff.
yeah, and we didn't know how long we were going to want to stay there and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I think after we've been there about 6 months to a year, we both just went, "Nah, we'll stick around here for quite a while." And yeah, and what we have so far, and yeah, been a while now.
So talk to us about Noosa, mate, about the rugby, about what type of job you're doing, just about the life there that you're both living in and loving.
Yeah. So I played league again up there. We the team that I played for, like they'd I don't know how much you know about it, but like they'd won the comp the year before, and like there's loads of different divisions of competitions and stuff, but they'd won their comp the year before, so they were. And I didn't know anything about it. Like when I told someone I was going to play for them, they were like, "Oh, they're a good side," and I was like, oh, "Okay." But then they also had a lot of lads leave over the summer after they'd won like a competition. So yeah, when I played there, and I played between kind of like fullback and wing, and
Who's that for, Matt?
I was for Noosa. They're called Noosa Pirates. Um, and I remember they going, "This is much better." Like, no offense to like the lads we played with here and that, but I remember like playing going, "These are like it felt faster." Even I was like mid-20s. I was like, "Oh, this just feels faster. It feels like a bit more put together." And like we played league before. I remember that first. I only played a year with them because I've moved to Brisbane, and I remember going, "Jesus, this is actually quite hard." This I struggled a little bit, to be honest. But I
What with
enjoyed.
the pace, with the physicality, what with
I think it's probably more physicality, which is never again something's never bothered me. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if it was just I don't know, move a whole new place or whatever. But I struggled that year for some reason. I don't know what it was, but I
yeah,
don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it. But I remember just going, I don't reckon I should play yet. And I had some good games, but then I had some like shocking games. Like I remember knocking on a good few high balls one game, getting dragged back in goal like 3 or 4 times in one game off kicks, and just being like, I remember that game going, I don't want to do this now. I don't want to play this anymore. I felt embarrassed more than anything else, which has
yeah,
never really happened before. Like, I've had some, I've really all of bad games, but never had one where I've gone, I should not be playing.
yeah.
But it's
And
was what it
there's no
was.
hiding place either, Matt, under the high ball, is there?
Nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You've seen me knock on a good few of those, but yeah, that
But they
was
were rare, mate. They were rare. They weren't like numerous in one game like you're talking about here.
yeah, not in yeah.
Yeah.
That all changed when I was in Noosa, mate. Oh, it was bad. But no, it was good. It was good. And I was labouring at the time, just like for a bricklayer. Um yeah, just that was like tough graft, which yeah, I actually really enjoyed. Ended up just doing that for about a year and a half, all up. Even when I moved, I only played that year, and I moved down to Brisbane. When Haley actually moved over, I would have played like what did I play? Yeah, I played the season, and we moved down in the June, July, down to Brisbane, of whatever year it was, 2018, I think it was. Um, and then
How long
started
has it been
playing.
there now?
Yeah,
Bloody hell.
6.5 years, 6.5 years for me, 6 years for Haley at the minute, six and a bit. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So
it's flown by.
what's next then, mate? Where does work take you? Where does rugby take you?
When I moved down to Brisbane, I was like, well, I'll look for a team just for a social thing. But I wasn't asked about the standard or anything. I was like, it's just going to be a way to make mates. So I ended up searching like rugby clubs. First one that was closest to me was Brisbane Irish. They were about 5-10 minutes down the road. So I messaged him, and it was it was Shane, and I know just like, yeah, come down, we train here this time. I remember going down, and it was at the back of a school. They train on a school field at the back. I remember walking down, going, "What the fuck is this place like?" You to look at it, it looks bad. And like the clubhouse was just a shipping container. And yeah, I remember going, I don't know if this is for me. And I went down a couple of times, and I hurt my shoulder again, so I didn't go back until the following. Um, it was pretty much nearly a year, the next pre-season it would have been. And I went back down, and he was like, "Didn't you come down a couple of years like last year?" And he was like, "We never seen you again." I was like, "Oh, I hurt my shoulder, blah blah." It turns out that like the great group of lads. Like it looks like a shithole, but great group of lads. Like really, like it was like well run. Everyone got on. Everyone was in it for like the same reasons, like social, but still wanted to have a good game. Yeah, the social side of it is that's where all our mates have come from, pretty much. And actually turned out that we played some pretty decent rugby.
Few of us streamed in. You had a big game, didn't you? And a few of
Yeah,
us all got onto the
that would have
stream.
been. I think that was the second or so year that I was there. The first year we won our grand. The first year we won. I was there. We won the competition that we were in, but it wasn't like no disrespect to anyone. It wasn't the best. We won the grand final like 80-0. It weren't the best competition. And then the next year was that one we had at Ballymore against Goodner, they're called. And yeah, I think that was the link that we sent to everyone. Like that was a really, really good game. Really enjoyed that. They were a big set of boys. Like you could have swapped 1 through 15 and they'd have filled in a position. Like they were massive, big team of
To
Irelanders.
be fair as well, yeah.
I think the scrum half was the smallest lad, and he was about 6'1". But the thing is that like them lads, they're like gentle giants. Some of them like really softly spoken, blah blah blah. Well, I mean, you've played against like Fijians, Samoans, like when you know about it, like you absolutely know about it. Yeah, no, we lost that game by it was like a point. That was a really really enjoyed playing that game.
But you'd
But
have
yeah,
gotten
that was
out that 80-0 the year before, will you, really, without being rude to
no,
anybody?
no, no, we didn't. I like all the games that year were like 30 points to 5, 40 points to 10 kind of thing. We
Comfy.
won every
Yeah.
game pretty comfortably, so it was a bit pointless as being in that. We actually changed leagues that next year, and then ends up in the grand final at Ballymore. And then that was like it turned out that it was first v second in the final, so it was like kind of the way you want it to be. And then they finished top, and yeah, I think once again one of my other penalties that I missed that I lost the game. So I missed.
Do you know what, mate? Do you know when at the time that's how it feels, isn't it? But do you know when you look back and
Yeah,
that, like
yeah.
it's not down to a nudge, but it does feel it at the time.
Yeah. No, it's like as it is at the time you go, but like afterwards you go, well, yeah, we probably shouldn't have let them score 23 points or whatever it was as well. Like,
Yeah,
just to make yourself, just say that to make yourself feel better.
yeah.
But
So, so is that are you when you go home? Is that an avenue you're going to go down? Are you still going to get the boots on and that, mate?
nah, I haven't played
No.
for like, I probably played like the first 4 years or so I was there. I played, and then I ended up having like a year and best part of a year off, like through work. As you know, I drive like long distance,
Yeah.
like trucks. So I work away like Saturday through Wednesday, Thursday. So like by the time I'm back, I've either missed training or I've been on the road and I'm like I just want to chill out. I don't want to run around. So I had like a year off, and then a few of us all went. Actually, let's all go back. We'll play one last year, and we all went. Yep, sound. So a few of us laced the boots back up. I played like 3 games, and yeah, got injured with my ribs. Thought when I went to the hospital, they thought I broke like three of them. I hadn't. I'd hurt them pretty bad, but I ended up having to miss a few weeks of work. And at that point, I wasn't that bothered about playing. So I just kind of went, nah. I was like, what to get out of it, like isn't paid off by what I might miss. So I ended up last year it was. I just was like, nah. After the first few games, I stopped playing. Like, I'll try and go down on that when I'm not working and see the lads. I still go out with all the lads in the afternoon. Hayley's still on the committee. She used to help out behind the bar and stuff like that. I all our mates are from the rugby, so we're trying to help out where we can. But yeah, I'm not. I'm not old, but I'm definitely done with playing.
Yeah. Is it nice to be able to call it on your terms, Mick?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, like, it's not, I'm not like sort of lads who've like made actual like careers out of it and stuff like that. But it's, yeah, rather than just go, do you know what, I've broke a leg or like I've had a real bad injury, I probably should give it up. Like some of the lads I still know who try and play out there, and you look and you go, mate, come on, like we're playing amateur rugby, like just put your family in that first before you like your ego, if it will be. But yeah, it's nice to just go, do you know what? Nah, I wasn't that bothered. It's not nice to say because a lot of people put a lot of effort into like an amateur club, as you know. But I was like, I didn't want to play anymore, so I was just like, nah, I'm gonna give it a miss.
Fair enough, mate. What's the future for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, do you think?
Um, oh, see how we go. I don't know. We're in the middle of like we got our residency there, so we're gonna try and sort out our citizenship when we can, and just go from there really. Plan a few holidays, just kind of carry on doing what we've been doing, just plodding along and enjoying ourselves. So yeah, nothing
Yeah,
nothing major. See how we go.
yeah. Right, some daft questions for you, Matt. So, any pre-match superstitions, mate?
Nah, none. I no. I used to Joe used to do me head in pre-match was like when we were in the changing rooms and everyone was getting like amped up and you'd have like Taffy running around screaming, stuff like that. Like there was never anything like that that got me going. I always just like go and stand in the corner when that was going on and like we do like big like squeeze of a huddle and I was like, nah, just keep me out of this. I'm gonna go and stand out the way. Nah, there was nothing really. No, nothing that springs to mind anyway. I just like remember not really feeling like I was into a game until I got hit or made a
Yeah,
tackle. Like that could be 30 seconds, a couple of minutes, but then after that, you'd be like, oh no, actually, I've got to probably switch on a little bit here. But nah, no
yeah.
superstitions, anything like that.
So you might not know the name, Matt, but you might remember what club they're from. And this next word is definition's different for everybody. But the toughest player you played with and the toughest player you played against.
Hmm. Um, don't know because there's a few lads in the team at the like playing at the Wids that were like big tough lads. Like the one play actually, I remember like a few games that we played with him. And I think a few people have said this. Like, remember like with was it Paya?
Yeah,
I remember like him, and I remember just going, "Thank God he's on my side of the field." Like, because I would not. I'd have paid money to be off the field if he was against me.
yeah.
Um,
It can't have been nice, that, can it?
no, I remember that game was him and his brother playing against each other. Just going, I'm just gonna stay out the way of these pay. Like these can just have it off with each other. Um, but then saying that, there was like lads we played in. Like I wouldn't like to play against like Fieldy or Aldo, probably for different reasons. But them
Yeah,
pair of kill you as well. And then there's a few lads I've played with in around the world. And there was a lad we played in Abu Dhabi. Willie, his name was. He was big New Zealander. He was a centre, and him when he used to take the ball in, I'd be like, "Fucking Jesus!" He just skittle people out and we're going. Yeah, thank God I'm not. Thank God I'm not trying to get wrapped up in his legs. Yeah, then it's just that there's a few people. There's no, yeah, I don't know about anyone that particularly springs to mind. Just trying to think of the worst to played against is. Um, do you know what? When I was saying I had that season like league in Noosa, the game I said I got ragged in goal a few times. It was the same lad, and he was a back rower. I don't know what he didn't look. He wasn't the biggest guy in the field, but he's probably one of the only times I've played a game and I really gone out my way to avoid someone. And I don't know who he was. Don't know who he was. Never played against him again. But probably whoever that guy was, him. Because I was like, nah, I'm gonna stay. He whacked me a good few times, and I was like, nope, I want to stay as far away from you as I can. Yeah, don't know who he is then.
It's
So
sensible, isn't it? Yeah.
it is, yeah. Should have learned that lesson a bit earlier on in the game.
Yeah. Well, you learn it eventually, mate. So
I
your
got
favourite
learned the
away
hard way.
ground?
Oh, don't know. There's a few. Like, you used to love them trips to the Isle of Man. Like they were good trips, especially when you've got John Ev just stroking conversions over on the touchline last
You
minute.
want.
Like that
You want.
was that was always a good time going over there. Um, the best place I've played, and I only did it once, was we played in Doha, and there you go into their like facility, and I had two or three different bars, and the inside bar had a band on, the outside bar had the band. You had a pool next to the pitch. Like the pitch was immaculate, but it was again. I only did it once, but that was. I think that's probably my favourite place. If I could go and play somewhere again, it'd be probably there.
That
Because you
sound
know,
like it,
again,
to be
it's
fair.
not something you get. That's not something we get to do as amateur kind of players, is it?
No. No.
But yeah,
No, you
probably
get
there.
to go to shitholes.
Get to go and play in like
Really,
a place
that's
like
not a
Finsbury
shithole.
and yeah, fucking hell.
If you could go back and tell a younger Smigger something, what would it be, mate?
Oh, how long have you got?
How long you want?
Think. Um, don't know. Probably. I don't. Maybe try and take like sport a little bit. Well, I couldn't do anything about it, but maybe take it a bit more serious because it could potentially be something you'd end up doing.
Yeah.
Um, Probably age old cliche of listen in school. Actually, to like apply yourself a little bit in school and the same thing. Now I know that you can, move away and probably go and live somewhere else. I think I do go. Maybe I should have, paid a bit more attention or gone to uni, and then I could have, you know,
Yeah.
gone to
I think it's
work
more
anyway.
spoke of now, though, Matt. It wasn't a thing us growing up, people
Not,
working away
not
and that.
really. Nah,
No.
nah, definitely not really. So probably that. Yeah, just maybe take things a little not too seriously because that's no fun. But yeah, take things a little bit more seriously. Because yeah, you never know what you'll be able to do off the back of it.
So we've had a few beers, mate, and for some reason you're up and the microphone's in your hand. So what song are you giving us?
Oh, I got it. I reckon I got a couple. There's one that I've been known for singing with Haley and like a few of our mates. It's called Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood. But then I sang one. I played with this team in Canada once, and they were like, "You've got to get up and you got to sing a song." I was like, "All right, Sam." So I got up in front of a bus of lads that I'd known for maybe about 25 minutes to an hour, and it was like, what did I say? I sang "Walking in Memphis." So it'd either be that, probably be walking in Memphis. At the end of the song, they told me they meant a rugby song that they could all join in with, and I just sat there for like, I belted out Mark Cohen for 2 minutes on my own, man. Everyone just looked at me.
3.5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, going, the fuck's this guy doing? And they were like, that was great, but we didn't mean that. I was like, oh, okay. And they just let me get on with it anyway.
Oh, brilliant.
I'd say walking in Memphis, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
With that song.
And if you're willing to, mate, a 1 to 15 that you've played with throughout your time.
Right. Right, 1 second. Actually wrote some people down because I honestly forgot who had actually played with in that.
Well, no doubt, mate. You've been all over the gaff, haven't you? So,
And like I know, like obviously some of the lads, you had on like pick like a team of mostly like from the Wids and that, but like I've played in a few places for long, like equal amount of time as I did like with the Wids. So there'll be a mix of people you do know and people you don't know.
it's like you said the other day when we spoke about it, we were shocked that you'd only played that amount of time at the Wids because it had felt like forever,
They were
really.
like hell of a lot longer, yeah. But I don't know if that's testament to the people are there. The people there are all pretty genuine and that. So everyone's everyone's nice and kind. I say makes you feel at home, makes you feel like you've been there for a good while. So, but I'm gonna like rather than do like because I don't know, might shock. Yeah, I don't know the difference between loose head and tight head. So I'm just gonna say props.
Sound.
There's a lad I played with in Brisbane. He's from Leeds, like called Matt Miles. He was one of our props. He's not the biggest of props, but just solid in a scrub. Like even for me, looking going, that's technically sound. Like yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And he didn't really get moved. And just a general kind of way because he's one of my good mates. So he's a good lad. I'd go in one. On the other side, another lad that I played with on in Brisbane. It'd be a toss up between him and probably someone like Aldo. Who's again one of them fellas again I was made up was on my side of the
Yeah.
fence. Just niggle like just again someone you just didn't want to get on the wrong side of. And then there was a lad I played with in Brisbane called Liam. He's a big lad, injured quite a lot, but he was very, very quiet. Like he's a really good lad. He's very quiet though, but he does the shit, and he's gets his job done. Scrums are sound. Really good lad. Again, he never looks happy. I don't think I've ever seen him smile. Nice guy though, but he look at me and he go, yeah. Again, I'm glad you're with me. Yeah, so I don't know. It'd be a toss up between one of those two. Then where are we going? Hookers. I reckon I'll probably just go with Mossy. He was our main hooker for the years that I was at the Wids. Again, that's someone who's decent lad, solid, just gets the job done, no frills. Sometimes poached a few too many tries off me, but between him and Paul Borg, I reckon I could have had another 15 tries a season. But yeah, I reckon I'd just go in.
Yeah. Second rows.
Second rows. Again, it's a lad I played in Brisbane. I called Chase. He's an Australian lad. He's a big lad. Again, like you want from your forwards, just does his work, gets around the field. In second to none in a line out, like I'd probably ought to count on one hand the amount of like line outs he lost or didn't steal over a few seasons. Like real fucking solid in the line outs. Really good lad. Really nice lad. Anyway, yeah, not fastest of people. He was he'd trundle around, but he'd get around the field and he'd do his job like. And then who else? I'd say from the when we played the Wids, probably go Bomber as a second rower. Again, he's someone who seems to just be he's everywhere, just mopping up. Like he'd get around again. Line out tonight was sound. Yeah, I'll say forwards aren't my forte. I was trying to rack my brains, thinking like lads and stuff. And like, I don't remember games too much in that, but yeah, I remember he'd always be round about doing his job well.
Yeah, he was like another back rower, really, Bomber. Just a really
Yeah,
tall one.
yeah, he was absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll probably go that. Then I'd say from again, not really knowing much of a difference between an open and a blind side. I go back right flankers. I go Tom Mack.
So we'll play seven him then, so we'll be open side. So
Okay, stand.
yeah,
If you say so, I'll take your word for it.
yeah,
I mean, well,
yeah.
absolute solid player. Tackles on the fucking cow come home. Done some outrageously good stuff, which I think comes as a shock to him sometimes. But yeah, again, workhorse everywhere around the field, and just to be honest, he's another person you go, thank God he's on my side. Like I don't like to play against him. He's an absolute pain in the arse, I imagine, to play against.
Yeah.
Then like again, a lad I play in Brisbane. Only played a couple of years with him called Bevan. Like the only other person I've seen make better, like solid, technically good tackles would be like someone like Scoey. This lad, he was everywhere. Like he'd make 3 or 4 tackles in kind of like 3 or 4 carries, and then next minute he'd be up and he'd be the first support if we made a break. Like he was absolutely everywhere. Like, do you remember you play with someone, you just go, he understands what's going on. Like some people just you go, nah, he's know what's going on here. Say yeah, I'll pick him. He's a really really good player actually. Really fit as well, which he didn't always look like the fittest, but he get around. Number 8 was a bit of a toss up. A lad that played within Brisbane called Will. It was a mate of mine, but he just absolutely like one for me forwards. He was solid. Like there was no frills. Like don't get me wrong, he was never going to be like he went the fastest or whatever, but he just make his tackles, make his carries. Go, you wouldn't even know he's on the field. He hardly spoke, which isn't the greatest in time, but you knew he'd just be there anyway. So there's a toss up between him and you. Actually, that's not me trying to be nice.
It'd be a first, wouldn't it?
Right, I know. Right, it's same thing with you, right? You're always absolutely solid at the back, even if the scrum was going backwards. Again, you first say you're not exactly a frills kind of play. You're not going to be putting a bit of footwork on, but
I'll be quick.
I'll be quick. Yeah, that just went without saying. But yeah, but you're always up, and you're another mate. You're another kicking option. You're another 10 if we need. You little jack of all trades. You weirdly.
Instead of none.
Master, absolutely did. But no, it'd be a toss up between probably one of you two. Then what are we on? Where are we? 9.
It's up to you if you can go for 9 or you can go from full back, but probably better for 9 for you,
I'll
innit?
go. I'll go 9. I'll go 9.
Yeah.
Probably just like because what we did with the Colts and that. Probably go Ev.
Yeah.
Yeah, go with Ev just because again he's everywhere. Um, Again works really really hard. Absolutely solid in defence. Sometimes his passing wasn't the greatest, but I can't exactly complain about that. But is it like just I mean, good lads, good laugh, and yeah, it was just solid. I mean, I obviously playing the first with Lammy, that was nice because that was like having an extra back rower, as a few people have said before. Um, Having a big body at now was always a help. But yeah, I reckon I'd go with Ev. Um, and then 10, I think I went with. I only played it. I think I only had a year or two with him when I first started playing the Wids, but it'd probably be like Andy Mack. Because I remember when again, I think I've had a few people say this, when he gets the ball and it just felt like everything kind of slowed down a bit. Like it just felt like he had a bit more time, a bit more vision. It was kind of you run a line, don't worry about the ball, just have your hands up and it'll end up in there. You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about making your way to the ball. It get to you ultimately. But then I've that's probably the same with all good tens. The same with Phil. Like playing with like Phil Glover.
Yeah,
He was the same. Obviously not nowhere near as fucking big, but he was the same. It seemed like he just had all the time in the world. Which I don't know. Maybe it's just a sign of a good ten. It makes you feel like that. But I reckon I'd go Andy. I'd go Andy
yeah.
over the two of them. 12, or do we go 11? 11. Um, don't know what again. Don't know which wing's which, but I'll go Kev and Kev Ledbetter. Um, Again, he's rapid. He knows his way, knows how to find the try line. Got great moves on him, kicking goals, great out of band. Like that year that we was it a year that I think it was me, him, and Riz all ended up. I think we were
Long
like
figures, wasn't
one.
it?
We were
Yeah,
like 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, and 4 in like the try scoring for the league.
yeah.
All managed to fucking get our way to the line, but yeah, Kev knows his way to how to finish. So I go with him. And then 12 was another toss up between Gaz Riley and a lad that played within Australia called Brock. Um, Brock was a lad who he actually played for like the Brumbies for a little bit. And another player could play 10, slow the game down, but same. He's like an extra 10 as your 12. Like distribution was spot on. Again, not the quickest, but it seemed like he had all the time in the world. I was like, would break it, I'd be able to like break a tackle and make a couple of yards. Might not, yeah, and I'd go the length of the pitch, but I'd certainly find a game line all the time. But
Yeah.
and then a Gaz. I don't know, watching Gaz is weird. He doesn't look like he should be as strong as he is. He looks awkward when he carries, but it
His
didn't
balance
matter.
was really good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he get one, they just carry on. I reckon. Do you know what? I reckon I would probably have played a bit more. I reckon I'd go Gaz. Gaz Riley.
Yeah.
Runs in a family, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Then 13. Go 13. Probably go Welshie. I
Yeah.
would say. Um, Again, like defense. Like obviously, there was them times he'd fly up and might get it a little bit wrong, but 9 times out of 10 in defense, like you knew what you were getting. He was going to smash people. And again, another person who doesn't look like they should be that, like, because he's obviously pretty long, isn't he?
Yeah.
Looks, I think he's a lot stronger than he looks. And he used to like carry really well, get over the line, and yeah, another pretty good hands on him as well, which always helped us. Yeah, so I'll go probably, yeah, go Dave. And then other winger. I actually went with a lad that I played with in Abu Dhabi. I only played with him for a year. I called Max. It just didn't matter. There could be absolutely nothing on, and if he got the ball, he was gone. He was absolutely rapid, like really good lad as well. But it didn't matter. He'd step you in a phone box, that kind of guy, and he'd be off, create something out of nothing. Great finisher, defensively sound, but he was really really good. I think he plays somewhere in the championship now, something like that. So I'd probably go with him. And then fullback, probably, I mean, goes without saying. Anyone who's played with him, Andy Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just annoying is the word that springs to mind with him. Because it is, I've never seen anyone so effortlessly be so good at something.
Yeah.
Another, like, I'm not the same as him, but like another person who just doesn't look like, he just doesn't look like he cares.
Oh.
Which, and it's again, I would absolutely despise playing against him. He's probably the best player I've played with. Like, just ridiculous how easy it comes. And it's not easy. It probably doesn't come to me easy. Like he was always a trainer, and he always works hard and that. But yeah, just makes it look absolutely effortless. And had an absolute weapon of a boot on.
Yeah. No, he actually did, didn't he? For someone with no offence to him, that was like quite a slight for him, and that left peg,
again,
mate.
someone like doesn't look like much, but he just bounced off a tackle and off he'd go. And defensively was solid. Like, I don't remember many tackles getting, like, if someone made a break and it was 1-on-1, because I don't remember many, if any, times to people getting around them.